Hey guys, it's Kim here with Fairily Fiber Fun. Thanks so much for joining me today on another show and tell episode. Today is post Tour de Fleece, so I will show you all the Tour de Fleece spins that I did. Tour de Fleece ended yesterday, the July 23rd. Today is July 24th. So I have a basket full of spun yarn that I did during the tour, completed spins. Some of these were started before the tour. It's a total of 1,710 yards, give or take. That's a lot of yardage, and that's all finished. That's not the singles and the plying and all that. This is the Rainbow Gradient Rainbow Fractal. Yeah, the fractal one with the rainbow. This was week 1 challenge, 14 do-it-yourself and dye, and I got 620 yards finished, so I'm very happy with that and hope to turn this into a shawl or something. I'm really getting into shawls for some weird reason. And then I have the Biffle Sock Spin Superwash BFL, and I got 380 yards, give or take, between the skein and the 2 mini skeins. So I'm very happy with that. It is all about 25 wraps per inch on this one, and that'll make great socks or something else. Quite happy with that. Then I have another challenge for, that was for, this Biffle stock was for Team Star Sheep from A Star Is Shorn on Etsy, and this is another one of their challenges. This was challenge to spin a skein in a day, start to finish, with a celestial theme. And so I put together the colors to make the Milky Way Galaxy colors, and I thought it turned out absolutely lovely. We have about 80 yards. Sorry. I've got my notes sitting next to me and I can barely see them for some weird reason. I got too many lights in here or something. So anyway, 80 yards of Galaxy, Milky Way Galaxy. I love the colors. This was my first time blending different fibers and colors together on hand cards, and I had a lot of fun making that. The last challenge I participated in for Team Do It Yourself and Dye, finished a few days prior, somewhere around the 20th, I think. Was a 2-tone spin, and I added some little art yarn stuff to it. So I've got little locks that I spun in. It's my first time of tail spinning, and I think it turned out really, really well. So I'm quite pleased with it, and I got about 38 yards or so. And until I had washed it, you could have removed the locks very easily, but I agitated the yarn a little bit in the bath so that it would grab a hold of those locks and hold them still. And I knew the red is some of my wool, and the brown is the alpaca that I won in the fiber swap. So that was really cool. Now, this is some cotton. I just had some on my bobbin, and I 3-plied it, I think, and it's spinning the wrong direction. It's twisting the wrong direction because I forgot cotton requires a lot more twist, and so it is severely underplied, or it wouldn't be doing that. I think I will roll it the other direction, but it's very smooth, soft, and lovely. So I'm quite happy. This was my first time spinning actual cotton from a plant instead of from like cotton balls or something. So I'm quite pleased with how that turned out. It's lovely. And I had, prior to the tour, I had spun up some white silk. And so during the tour, I spun some red silk and some blue silk, and I plied them with the white and then I plied up what was left of the white, and I got 130 yards of the colored ones, each of them, and the white silk was 188 yards plied up. So the red 130 yards 2-ply, the blue 130 yards 2-ply, and then the natural 3-ply 188 yards. So I need to get more silk so that I can make an awesome little shawl or something out of this. This would be beyond lovely. And then I had been gifted some Angora, so I spun up a little tiny sample to see how it would spin. And this is, I don't remember if I 2-plied this or if I chain-plied it. Honestly, I don't remember. I was intending to ply it with the silk, and then in the middle of plying, I don't know if I went the wrong direction, but I totally screwed up. So I ended up just plying the Angora by itself, and it's so soft and lovely. My hands did sweat like crazy, so I ended up placing a blanket or pillowcase or something around the fibers so that I wouldn't felt it in my hands, and it did quite well. Now, the last spin, and I know I'm going really fast, guys, but I got a ton to show y'all. This last spin I've already done a separate video on, and it's my combo spin comparison. I got 48 yards of the combo drafted, which is this one, and 46 yards of the chain plied, which is this one. So, and they turned out quite lovely. The 2-plied combo drafted is softer. So those are all the spins I did for Tour de Fleece, and they're mainly for the two teams, Do It Yourself and Dye and Team Starsheet. I did hang out in a couple of other teams and posted some pictures, and still got to post my finishing spins in those two threads. So I'm very pleased with how much yardage I got spun during the tour. Was not expecting to get everything done, but I did, and then I actually had time to get more done. So I did more than was expected and still had some spare time on my hands. Now, in the middle of the last week, I kind of got burned out, and I started knitting socks. So I'm in the middle of a de-stash of my sock yarns, and I've got gobs and gobs of sock yarns. I'll post a picture of the whole basket in here. And I have 3 skeins of fingering weight singles that I ordered online, and they did not turn out, they were not what I was expecting, but they're really pretty, and I think they would look lovely in a shawl or two. These are all a little bit used. My daughter made a scarf out of this one. I made fingerless mitts out of this one, and I was knitting fingerless mitts with this one and was in the middle of the first one and just decided I wasn't going to do it. So I cut it off because the yarn does not like to rip out, prefers to tangle up on itself. So these are not going to be socks. These are going to be a shawl or a couple of shawls. So there's some of my stash, and then I've got a partial skein as well as these 3 of white, or natural off-white, whatever you want to call it, Serenity sock yarn, 3 skeins of purple, which one ran away, but I know I have 3 skeins of purple. There it is. I got 3 skeins of purple, and 1 skein of gray plus a little bit left over, a couple of partial skeins of green, just this color, and a skein of black, which I thought I had 2 skeins, but one turned out to be navy, so I'm using that one right now. And then I have this I bought from my local yarn shop before they closed, and it is really cool sock yarn. I've already made a pair of socks out of this. This was left over. And this is from Knit Picks. I don't remember which colorway this is, but it's their, I think it's the kettle dyed sock yarn. And I tried knitting socks out of it and didn't like the pattern, so ripped it all out and have yet to finish using this. I have some odds and ends of Knit Picks yarn, sock yarns, that I used in a specific sock project and have this left over. It's not much. Figures out something to do with that at some point. And then I have, my goal is to knit 2 pair of socks for each of my boys before Christmas. So I'm starting with the oldest because he has the biggest feet, and I've got the first pair done. And they're just simple Fish Lips Kiss heel, and that was well worth spending $1 on that pattern. So I did the contrasting heel and toe, and I think it turned out absolutely wonderful. Now I'm working on the second pair, and I'm almost done with the first sock. So this is using the navy that I thought was black originally, and it isn't. So I'm on the contrasting cuff, and I've got another row or 2 to do, and it'll be done. So there's his sock number 1. Also, I don't know if you can see it, I've got some really cool stitch definition there. I'm just doing some slip stitches every so many in a pattern to make it interesting because I was getting bored. So I'm making some headway with that, and I'm hoping to have all the socks knit before Christmas so that all my boys can have socks for Christmas, homemade by Mom, and hoping to get my daughter a shawl or 2 made, or maybe some leggings or something. That's all of the sock D-stash, and if you guys want to join in the D-stash, we're running it in my Ravelry group, Stash Down, whatever you want to call it. I'm focusing on commercial yarn, but you can use any kind of yarn you want to, hand spun, commercial, whatever you want to use. It doesn't matter, and it doesn't have to be sock yarns. I also have gobs and gobs and gobs of cotton yarn, and I'll show you the picture for that. And I'm using it to make pot holders, face scrubbies, nail polish removers, makeup removers, stuff like that. And trying to get my daughter, she's learning to crochet, and I'm hoping she will be able to make washcloths and pot holders to help me out with that. She's going to be helping me get rid of that stash. Also, the very last few days of the Tour de Fleece, I randomly decided, ooh, I'm going to make some spindles. I had the supplies, and okay. So I made, because I have 2 different size toy wheels from Hobby Lobby. I made 2 different spindles, and I was going to put them in my shop on Scott's Marketplace to sell them. But this one, when I put the hook in, I cracked the spindle shaft. So I get to keep this one, but I put some sparkle in the top of it. It's clear sparkle, and I love it. It's neat, you know. Fairily Fiber Fun. I'm into fairy stuff, and sparkles is part of fairies, right? So this spins like a dream. I've been mainly thigh spinning it, and it's going really, really fast. This is like 2 days worth of spinning on my spindle. Maybe an hour or 2 each day, so 3-4 hours spinning. It's not bad. And I haven't used this one yet, but this one I had some, this is the larger one. It's heavier. It's more beginner style. I cut a little groove in it, and once I give this a go, I'll see if it's something I want to put in my shop. It's, or if I want to change the style, but put some silver metallic paint on the top, and then topped it off with more glitter. And the shaft could use a little bit more sanding. It's a tiny bit rough, so I've got a little work to do on it. But other than that, it's really good, and I can't wait to give it a try. So I'm going to finish filling up the other spindle first. So once this one's full, then I'll start working with this one. And I'm using these really awesome tiny, tiny roll-logs I made on my dog brushes. So they're itty bitty. And Kool-Aid food coloring dyed. So that's a lot of fun to work with. Let me check my notes right quick. Okay. I I've been doing some natural dye experiments on the side along with Tour de Fleece and everything else going on. I started with some yellow flowers I have growing in front of my house, and they are, I don't know if they're green-headed coneflowers or something very similar, but they're bright yellow and they make a vibrant dye. So here was the first attempt, and it turned out absolutely lovely. It's a gorgeous yellow. And this is just the flowers. I made a good tea out of it and soaked my fiber in homemade mordant, and then stuck the mordanted fiber into the dye bath. Now, the second attempt, I went ahead and added some ammonia to the water, just a little glub of ammonia to the dye bath before putting the fiber in, and it turned out this gorgeous orange, and I've been carding it into beautiful roll-locks. So I'm loving this color. It's dark, almost a rust color. It's so pretty. I had a ton of dye left in the dye pot, so I dyed up some cotton, and this is the color it became, and I'll show you the difference here. Here's the original yellow. So there's the whole kit and caboodle there. In the bowl is cotton. I have no idea if this is color fast or if it'll wash out or fade. I've never tried dyeing cotton before, but I like how it turned out, and it's still very, very soft. After I took the cotton out, I went ahead and thought, shoot, I wonder what color I'll get. So I put some more wool in the dye bath and a little more ammonia, and I got beautiful yellow with orange tips. So that turned out really cool. And when it's carded, which I carded some, but I don't remember where I put them. But when it's carded, all those orange tips blend right in, and it makes a very nice yellow, like a gentle yellow, not a bright yellow. So that gives you a little bit of an idea of what it will look like. I thought that was lovely. So I've got three-ish colors from the same flowers, and that's pretty cool. If I had an iron mordant or a copper mordant, I could have gotten some really cool colors from those two. But I don't have any of that right now. The other dye experiment, all natural, that I did was, and I've done this twice now. First was an epic fail. Black beans, you've got to soak them in water for a few weeks to get all the color out, and then it's supposed to make a pretty blue. Well, I soaked it for a few days, and when I dyed it up, it turned into this odd grayish, brownish, black stuff. I added ammonia to see what color it would be, and it turned it kind of, I want to say it turned it pinkish. And then I added, but the color just faded right out. I took the fiber out, and wasn't anything. So I put it back in, and I added baking soda to change the pH level. And so I got little bits of pink and green and blue in with the black and gray. Now here's some that I've picked, so you get an idea of how more uniform it looks in the carded up roll-logs, which again, I don't know where I put those. I have them, I promise. I just, my space is a mess. I don't know where I put them. I either stuck them somewhere and forgot where I stuck them, or I cleaned up and put them away, in which case I have no clue. I'll find them the next time I'm cleaning, I'm sure. So, and then I tried dyeing with beets. So I used beet juice from canned beets and picked a large beet from my garden, which only had one ready, and dyed it up, and it turned out that this was the biggest fail ever. It turned out something along the lines of that color right there. Not happy. Boring. So I over dyed with acid dyes that I had some samples of. I have three colors I chose to use: the pumpkin orange and sky blue and dark brown. So here's the whole thing. And then I dyed part of it, because I separated the fiber into two parts, and I put ammonia in one dye bath and nothing in the other one, and ended up both of them were the same color. So I over dyed one of them multicolors, and then I took the other and dyed it with the remaining colors with this color, the sky blue, and I added extra, and ooh, bright. This is not sky blue. This is really, really pretty though. So I'm happy with those colors. And then I played with more of the acid dyes, and I have to say, acid dyeing is so easy, but dyeing with plant stuffs is way more fun. Okay, on to a really, really, really important stuff. I've showed you everything I've been working on, all the Tour de Fleece stuff, the stash down, sock knitting, marathon, whatever you want to call it, the fun with the dyes, and now I have a giveaway to announce. On Patreon, we're doing a monthly giveaway to everyone who qualifies, and this month's giveaway is a set of 5 of these face scrubbies. Aren't they pretty? And 2 reusable nail polish removers that are the same as the makeup removers, but these are dark, which works great for nail polish, and you don't see the nail polish on them afterwards, and it washes straight off. So these are great for nail polish removal, these are great for face scrubbies, and these are my first giveaway. And the winner of this month's Patreon giveaway is Ilana. So I will be mailing these out to you later this week, and I hope you will see them in early August. Well, that's all I have to share with you guys for today. I hope you enjoyed the craziness, and I'll see you next time. Bye!